comes to the world of MMORPGs, one game reigned supreme throughout my childhood: Wizard101. Wizard101 is a massively multiplayer online role-playing game from 2008, where players take on the role of student wizards who must save the Spiral, the Wizard101 universe, from various enemies and bosses. Upon entering the game, players take a test to see where they are placed among the 7 different schools in the game: Fire, Ice, Storm, Life, Death, Myth, and Balance. Additionally, the option to just choose a school instead of taking the test to get your unique school is presented, allowing for players to play however they wish. Each school excels at something different, allowing for unique gameplay for each class. Fire is super strong and specializes in damage over time effects. Ice is the tankiest school, allowing for massive amounts of health and defense. Storm is a total glass cannon, allowing for some crazy powerful attacks. Life is a great supporting class to help heal themselves and their team, as well as to fill in the role of a tank. Death is arguably the strongest class, specializing in life-stealing spells. Myth is overall pretty weak, but has my personal favorite gimmick, the ability to summon a minion to help fight alongside you. And Balance, the school I was put into as a kid and have grown up playing, is a mix of them all. Its primary use is to support your team and set them all up for strong attacks, but it can also be used as an attacker if necessary. The combat in the game is fun and engaging, but at times it feels a little repetitive. The game features turn-based combat where each turn players acquire a pip or power pip that allows them to cast spells. The more pips a spell costs, the stronger it is. Players also have the ability to cast non-attacking spells, such as heals to help them stay alive, shields to protect themselves from enemy attacks, blades to strengthen their attacks, and traps to make specific enemies take more damage from certain attacks. Additionally, later on in the game, astral spells can be obtained to increase damage, accuracy, or defense even more, allowing for more diverse gameplay. Throughout the storyline, there are 4 main arcs. When I first started playing, there was only the first arc, but when I got back into the game recently with my friend and brother, we saw that there was loads more to see, explore, and do. The first arc is all about defeating Malistaire, the evil wizard I grew up aspiring to someday defeat in the game that I played most throughout my childhood. You travel across a myriad of different worlds, going from Wizard City to Krakatopia, to Marleybone, to Mushu, to Dragonspire, with side worlds such as Grizzleheim and Wisteria. Arc 2, which wasn't yet in the game when we first started playing, and where we currently are in our playthrough, features Celestia, Zafaria, Avalon, Azteca, and Chrysalis. Arc 3 features Polaris, Mirage, and Imperia, and Arc 4 features Caramel, Lumeria, Novus, and Wallaroo. The game is continuing to get updates and support, and there is a surprisingly healthy player base, considering the fact that the game will be 15 years old this September. The story is honestly pretty interesting, with unique voice acting for the thousands of characters across the Spiral, but at most times it can be very long and boring. My friends and I often would just skip through it. That being said, it didn't take away from the gameplay at all, and we still loved this game growing up. Wizard101 was the game that I loved playing most throughout my childhood. I'll never forget the countless sleepovers with my friends where we'd stay up all night playing together and PvPing against random players. It was always so fun and satisfying to beat higher level players by outsmarting them with our unique tactics and combat. That being said, as the game has gotten older, it's lost a lot of its charm. Wizard101 has a completely revamped start of the game, which, although it cut out a lot of the unnecessary early gameplay, has resulted in about an hour of gameplay being possible until players hit a paywall. Additionally, our favorite feature growing up was by far practice PvP, a way to match up against other players for free without having to spend in-game currencies. But now that feature is gone, the only way to PvP is by spending $39 on a gift card that has an in-game house with an arena, or by paying in-game currency to partake in competitive PvP. Despite these shortcomings, the game will always hold a special place in my heart. I'll never forget the pure joy I felt when my friend, who I used to quest with all the way back when we were like 8, and I came back to the game a few years ago to fulfill our childhood dream of defeating Malistaire. Or even recently, getting my little brother back into the game and questing with him. Wizard101 was the most fun game I played growing up, and is something I'll always remember fondly, and will continue to come back to and play for about a month every couple of years. The bosses are fun, unique, engaging, and oftentimes very difficult. The dungeons are usually quite intense, and the fear of dying and having to start almost completely over makes fights that much more extreme, and nothing is more fun than going around adventuring with your friends and completing quests and defeating enemies together. If you haven't yet tried Wizard101, I highly recommend just playing for an hour or so until you get to that first paywall. And if you do in fact like it, buying a membership is definitely worth it, even if it's just for a month. This game is extraordinary, and I'll forever remember the memories I made in the game. Whether it be when Nathan made me use my Seraph treasure card on a Lost Soul and Unicorn Way, or when Eli lost his password to his account that was a higher level than all of ours, or when Cam and I would make paper versions of our favorite cards and play the game in real life, or even just being so excited whenever Elijah would want to play with us, Wizard101 will always hold a special place in my heart. As always, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.